Hello and welcome to Mr. Tompkins Edtech. Today I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing the Wacom One, a 1080p Full HD display tablet and its accompanying tilt pen. Now, I'm no artist and my interest in this device is not so much for its creative potential. I'm looking at this as a tool for remote learning. Maybe you're a teacher currently working from home due to lockdowns, delivering live lessons through Microsoft Teams or Google Classrooms, or maybe you're still in the classroom but offering blended lessons for students self-isolating at home. Or perhaps you're a personal tutor running your lessons online through Zoom or Skype. Now, if one of these scenarios describes your new reality, then the Wacom One display tablet could be for you. In this video I'll be unboxing the Wacom One, explaining its key features and giving it a full product review as a potential device for remote learning. I'll show you how I'm using the Wacom One in my own online teaching and sharing my thoughts on it, what I really like about it and also its limitations. So if you've been considering purchasing some sort of stylus or graphics tablet for your own home setup and you'd like a little help deciding if the Wacom One is the right device for you, then keep watching. If you found this video helpful, then please do give it a like by tapping on the thumbs up below. This really helps me out. Also, why not subscribe to my channel and hit the bell, and that way you'll be more likely to see other videos from me on your YouTube home screen on more EdTech tips and tricks. You might also like to check out this video I posted a week or two ago looking at my current home learning setup. I'll put a link up here if you want to check it out later. Okay, time to get the Wacom One out of its box. Now, mine was sleeved in this nice white outer layer, and you can see up here in the top right hand corner that it includes a bonus software pack giving access to a range of creative and educational packages. We'll take a look at this in more detail later. Removing this sleeve, we've got a much more sturdy box inside with some simple instructions to help you get started. Lifting that off, we find the unit itself. It's come in this handy protective pouch, which is a nice touch, but actually it's a bit on the thin side and not really suitable for more robust use. If I was lugging it around school every day, I'd want something a lot more durable to put it in. Further into the box, we have a rather complicated X lead for connecting the Wacom One to your laptop or PC. More about that later. Underneath that, we have the power adapter for plugging the device into the mains that comes with both a UK plug and also an EU one. We've also got a little instruction booklet if you'd like to have something to follow. Also in the box is the stylus. This came wrapped in material for some bizarre reason, but at least it was fun to unwrap. The stylus has an attractive two-tone black and white design, nicely weighted and feels natural to hold. Wacom pens are trusted by graphic artists the world over, so you just know you're going to be happy with this aspect of the kit. It's passive, so it doesn't require any batteries or charging to make it work, which I like a lot. Battery operated ones are a real pain when they run out, and the charging ones just never are when I go to use them, so having a passive pen is a real blessing. Despite not needing power, it's still super accurate and there is no compromise on any features. Getting the unit out of its protective bag, we can see the 13.3 inch screen, which gives us a 1920 by 1280 Full HD resolution. It has quite a large black bezel and white around the edges and on the back. It feels really well made and the plastics feel good quality. It's really nice and light, much lighter than a tablet or laptop. It's got these little legs on the back that you can pull out to make a stand. And notice under here there are spare nibs for the stylus stored under one of these, which is a really great touch. You can use it flat on the table if you like, or use the legs to place it at this sloped angle, depending on your personal preference. The height is not adjustable, but luckily I found the height worked really well, so for me personally this was not an issue. You have a handy loop at the top of the device for storing your pen. You'll probably catch on much quicker than I did that the pen flares out at one end, so it only fits in one way round. At the Wacom One end, you just have the one lead to connect. Again, this only goes in one way round, with the lead trailing off to the left. However, the other end of the lead, it gets much more complicated, and it splits into 3 different cables. 2 head into your laptop or PC, plugging into your HDMI socket for the video signal, and a spare USB-A socket to provide the input for the pen. The final lead also ends in a slightly chunkier USB, but this one is for plugging into the provided power adapter for powering the screen. The Wacom One requires too much power to be charged directly from your device, so you will need another power socket to plug it in. Now, this arrangement was a bit of a minus point for me. I have a relatively new laptop with 2 currently unused USB-C Thunderbolt sockets, and I would have much preferred to have a single USB-C connection to carry both the video and pen input to and from the Wacom One. As it is, I need to plug the separate HDMI and USB-A sockets into different sides of my laptop, which still fits okay, but it's a bit of a stretch and feels a bit awkward and doesn't leave much cabling left to run over to the Wacom on one end, and I still need to plug the Wacom in somewhere to mains power. Now, I found I couldn't reach the same power socket I'm using for my laptop, so I needed to add an extension lead to my setup to bring power closer so I could actually plug the Wacom in. So the cabling is a bit cumbersome and fiddly, which for me limits its use as a portable device. I'm not going to want to move from classroom to classroom with it and have to set it up again and again in different locations where plugs and sockets are all in slightly different places. In these situations, a more simple graphics tablet that runs off one USB would be a much better solution, or perhaps a 2-in-1 laptop. But if you're working out the same classroom each day or planning to use this as part of your home setup, then you can just set it up in the same location pretty quickly once you know what needs to go where. If you're considering this for the classroom, do also note that if you're using a HDMI out on your laptop for the Wacom One, then you don't have it available for plugging in your classroom projector or screen. For this sort of setup, you'll additionally need a HDMI splitter to share your screen output to both these devices at the same time. I'll put a link in the description below to one that will work. Alternatively, if you have a spare Thunderbolt USB-C slot on your device like I have, you could instead make use of a small USB-C hub like this one. This has a USB-C connector on one end to plug into your laptop and slots for HDMI and USB-A on the other for your Wacom One. Again, link below. Now, I've seen other reviews for this device that mentioned their Wacom One came with adapters for HDMI and USB-A connectors, converting these to USB-C, which would have been nice, but these weren't included in the box that I received. I've got so used to plugging new devices into my Windows laptop and for it to work straight away. So I was a little surprised to find this device wasn't plug and play, and I needed to download and install the device drivers from Wacom's website to get the stylus to work. No big deal, it just took a few minutes to do. The drivers do come complete with a setup wizard to help you get up and running. It also encourages you to register the product, which is a good idea as it comes with an extended 2-year warranty and also allows you to access the various software licenses that Wacom have bundled into the device. My package included 6 months license for Adobe Fresco, 2 months for Adobe Creative Cloud, 3 months for Clip Studio Paint Pro, Explain Everything, Pear Deck, Kami, Limnu and Collabboard, and a perpetual license for Bamboo Paper Pro Pack, which is a bit of a mouthful. So you'll have lots of apps to play around with on your new Wacom One. The Wacom screen is much nicer to write on than my 2-in-1s or Surface Pro. These tend to get very warm under your palm, which can feel unpleasant after a while, and the glass is thinner and warps a little when you write on it. The Wacom screen always remains cool to the touch and is very sturdy with no warp at all. The flip side of having thicker glass is that I did notice there was a slightly wider gap between the tip of the pen and where you see the ink forming on the screen. But after a while I stopped noticing this and it's not now bothering me at all. The Wacom screen is coated with a special matte surface that makes it feel much more like writing on paper, and overall the writing experience feels natural and fluid and I like it a lot. As it's hardwired, you get close to zero latency, so there's no annoying lag between your two screens. Once installed, I found the default settings work great out of the box, but you also get the properties control panel for the Wacom One, which allows you to adjust the pressure sensitivity of the pen and recalibrate your screen. You just need to tap the pen in 4 different corners of the tablet as directed. There are no colour or brightness controls on the Wacom One, and compared to my main laptop screen, I have to say that the brightness is a little lackluster. The specs for the device say it's measured at 200 nits, which is definitely a bit on the dim side, especially when sitting next to my nice bright IPS panelled laptop. Also, its matte surfaced, whilst great to the touch, seems to diffuse overhead lighting, which can make the display more difficult to see at some angles. You can also use this panel to change the properties of the barrel button on the pen. There is just the one rather than 2 like you get on some other models, so you'll need to think carefully about how you want this button to behave. If you really can't decide between erase or right click or one of the other many choices, there is an express menu which pulls up a selector wheel allowing you to pick between all the various options on the fly. If you're a budding artist, then the Wacom One will serve as a very decent entry-level pen display and will give great results working in Photoshop and other high-end graphic suites. The full HD display delivers 72% of NTSC color gamut coverage, which is decent enough. Professional artists might need more though, and some may lament the lack of additional function buttons on the tablet and the single button on the pen. Wacom do offer a remote with extra buttons if you need these, and also offer higher spec display tablets if you're interested. You might like to check out their Cintiq range of display tablets. Do expect to pay considerably more for such high-end devices though. Link below. So whilst a professional illustrator might need a bit more than the Wacom One provides, for my needs as an educator this is all totally overkill. I'm primarily using this for remote learning, and my use of this device is mostly limited to drawing diagrams, writing text, mathematical formulas and showing my workings. So I've got far more accuracy and features here than I'm ever likely to need. The pen's pinpoint accuracy, its 4096 points of pressure sensitivity and its 60 degrees of tilt sensor for varying shading. I'm really being spoilt here. It's such a pleasure to use compared to other 2-in-1s I've had, and so much more accurate and easier than a basic graphics tablet with no display. The display works great with OneNote for Windows 10, which is what I'm using as my whiteboard for online lessons. OneNote supports both the pressure sensitivity and the tilt features on its various pens, making my writing look neat and natural. One thing I do miss is that there is no touch support on the screen, and in OneNote that means no ruler tool like I get when I'm using my touch display on my laptop. As a maths teacher, I do miss that a bit, and it means I can't demonstrate what I'm doing quite so well to students online when I'm doing things like graph work or geometry. But because the screen is nice and firm, I've found I can use a real ruler when I want to draw straight lines, which may not be quite as good for demonstrating to students, but does at least make drawing diagrams a lot less fiddly. Now, I recorded the unboxing part of this video about a month ago, and since then I've been using it for 3 weeks of back-to-back live lessons as part of our school's response to Lockdown 3 here in the UK. I have to say it's been a godsend, and I'm not now sure how I would have coped without it. I've been using various 2-in-1 laptops or Surface Pros over the last 3 or 4 years, so I'm no stranger to styluses and have long been an advocate of these as essential teacher kit. They are just so handy for preparing and presenting lessons. But with remote learning, I'm also wanting to make regular use of my webcam so the students can see me when I'm teaching, which just doesn't work when my 2-in-1 laptop is in tablet mode. Also, when working with Microsoft Teams, I do think it's massively advantageous to have a second screen so you can use one for your Teams communication and the other for your presentations. Now, there are various configurations of screens and devices I could have gone for to deliver this setup, but the Wacom One is a really great fit, as I can use it as my dedicated presentation screen, allowing me to annotate and write and use it like my whiteboard at school. And this means that I now have got my laptop free to have the webcam on, to show all my students, and I still have full access to the trackpad and keyboard, so I can type into the meeting chat when I need to. Having 2 separate screens means I can share screen 2 and easily flip between various apps I want to share with the students, whilst keeping screen 1 for things like my email and gradebook or register that I just don't want the students to see. Having now delivered over 60 hours of online teaching with the Wacom One, I can say with some confidence that its specifications are more than adequate for my needs, and it really has been a great addition to my online teaching setup. But at around £350, it's not the cheapest solution out there, and at that price you will want to be confident that this is the right device for you. So, to help you decide, I'll summarise the device's pros and cons. On the plus side, you have a good quality device at a reasonably affordable price point. The pen is really nice to hold and use, and the fact that it doesn't require batteries or charging is a real bonus. As you might expect from Wacom, it provides excellent accuracy, and it comes with 4096 pressure points and 60 degrees of tilt sensitivity. It gives a really pleasant writing experience on its smooth matte paper-like surface, and there is just one simple connector at the Wacom end. And because it's wireless, there's little or no latency between the two screens. On the minus side, the screen is a bit on the dim side at only 200 nits. It's not a touch screen. The leads are complicated at the other end, which means it's not well suited for a mobile teacher moving from class to class. And there are no extra function buttons on the device and only one button on the pen. For me, the positives of this device very much outweigh the negatives, and I've been very happy with it. For teachers engaging in remote learning or tutors working online, this is going to be a great tool for sharing your thoughts and methods with your students. Even classroom teachers will get a lot of joy from one of these devices, as long as they are mostly teaching out of one room and not having to decamp every period. Personally, I much prefer facing my class and writing on a tablet like this than constantly having to turn my back on the group to write on the whiteboard. If you can similarly live with its minor flaws, then you'll find this a great tool for bringing your remote lessons to life. You can find direct Amazon links to the Wacom One and other items I've mentioned in the description below, and you'll find more recommendations for laptops, graphic tablets and other tech to support your remote learning in my Amazon storefront. Check out my YouTube channel for more EdTech tips and tricks. If you're remote learning with Microsoft Teams, check out this playlist over here. If you're interested in using OneNote as a whiteboard with your remote classes, click on this one down here, or click down here for more EdTech tips. See you on the next video.